Since the beginning of time, people have made an effort to record their lifestyles and activities. Some of the earliest records were cave drawings. Great people had monuments constructed so the world would remember their names. Personal images were chiseled in stone to refresh the memories of later generations. With the passing of years, more and more people began to use pictures to record images. Today, it is easy for all of us to record lifestyles and activities on film. You can use film in a camera to photograph friends. Your daily newspaper uses film for photo reproductions and photo typesetting. X-ray film increases a doctor's vision and helps unlock some of the mysteries of medicine. Business and industry use microfilm to reduce the volume of their paperwork storage and to ease the retrieval of information. In science and research, film has retained what the eye cannot see and the human brain cannot record. Film has traveled with our astronauts and has been sent places where humans dare not go. Film, how is it made and how does it work? That's what this program is all about. We'll talk mostly about black and white and color films that are used in the kind of camera you may have. To find out how film works, let's start with three basic ingredients for picture taking: light, a camera, and of course, the film. The light reflected from your subject is focused by the camera lens onto the film to form an invisible image. The image becomes visible when the film is processed in special chemicals. With self-processing film, the chemicals are built right into the film. Films for general photography come in 5 basic types: films for black and white prints, for color prints, for color slides, movie film, and self-processing film. Many of these films are available in a variety of sizes. You can get movie film that is as narrow as 8 millimeters or as wide as 70 millimeters. Film sizes also range from small cartridges for pocket cameras to large sheets for professional view cameras. So today we have many uses for film, and it exists in many types, sizes, and shapes to accommodate all our needs. The experiment that inspired the development of modern films is over 200 years old, but you can simulate that experiment today. All you need are a piece of light-sensitive photographic paper, a bright light, such as the sun, and a few ordinary objects, such as a leaf and a pair of scissors. You can make a shadow graph by placing the leaf and a pair of scissors on a piece of light-sensitive photographic paper. Expose this combination to the sun for about 10 minutes. Then remove the leaf and scissors from the light-sensitive paper, and you'll see a shadow image of the objects recorded on the paper. The sunlight has darkened the paper in areas not covered up by the objects. The bright light formed this temporary image by reacting with the silver in the photographic paper. The film you use in your camera works much the same way, because silver is also the key ingredient in film. Some of the other raw materials are plants, assorted chemicals, and the hides and bones of domestic animals. If you have the opportunity to look at film under a powerful microscope, you'll see that it has 2 basic parts. The top is a very thin, light-sensitive layer which rests on a base of clear plastic. Several types of plants are used to make cellulose acetate, which is the clear plastic base for most films. Gelatin is used to suspend the silver in the light-sensitive layer. Animal hides and bones are used to produce a gelatin that is much more refined than that which we eat. The principal chemicals used to prepare the light-sensitive layer are silver, nitric acid, potassium bromide, and potassium chloride. These form light-sensitive silver crystals which are suspended in the gelatin. Preparing these ingredients properly is a very exact science called Emulsion making. The emulsion maker uses scientific controls and experience to carefully blend the silver crystals with the gelatin. Since light would ruin the emulsion, all this work must be done in the dark. The next step is to apply the light-sensitive emulsion to the clear plastic support. After cooling, the emulsion becomes firm, and the film can now be cut into different sizes and shapes. Remember, light would ruin our film, so it is protected by various light-tight cartridges until it is ready for use. Film must also be protected from humidity, so film packages are moisture-resistant. The film is now ready to go into your camera. As we mentioned before, to make a photographic image, all cameras need light reflected from a subject through a lens. For the best pictures, just the right amount of image-forming light must reach the film. This amount of light is controlled by the size of the lens opening and the length of time the shutter is open. We'll talk more about this later. The image of the subject focused on the film is retained in the light-sensitive layer. This retained image is invisible and is often called a latent image. It is made visible by processing in special chemicals. The silver grains that have been struck by light are physically changed and will turn into black metallic silver when they are processed in the first chemical, called the developer. The silver grains that have not been struck by light will not change in the developer. These unexposed silver grains are later made soluble by a processing step called fixing and are washed out of the film. The remaining tiny specks of black metallic silver have formed a visible image that can be safely used in light. This black and white image is called a negative because all the tones are reversed. The negative shows the original white tones as black and all the original black tones as clear areas on the film. Now the photograph is ready to be enlarged. The negative is put into a printer or enlarger, light is shown through it, and a lens focuses the image on photographic paper. Photographic paper is a lot like film, except that it's on a paper base rather than a clear plastic base. The paper is processed in several chemicals, and the result is a photographic print. Positive prints can be made in any size and quantity from the original negative. The size of the silver grains we talked about have an effect on the film's sensitivity to light and its ability to record fine detail. The large grains are more sensitive, but they also produce grainier images, like the one on the left. The small grain image on the right has finer detail, but the film is less sensitive to light. Large grain films are usually called high-speed films and are especially useful in taking action pictures indoors without flash or anytime the light is dim. Films with medium-sized grains have a moderate speed rating and are used for general picture taking. Films with small grains are often referred to as low-speed films and are ideal for making photographs that will be greatly enlarged. Usually you can find film speed ratings printed on the outside of film boxes. There's a wide selection of films with different speeds for different purposes in both black and white and color.